Hello, everyone. So Kevin O'Leary went on Yahoo Finance and spoke about Tesla. You may know Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank and Dragon's Den in Canada. And he seems to know Tesla pretty well and made some interesting comments. So let's see what he had to say.
Well, each quarter, including this one, there's always the speculation by the market that competition is going to erode margins. Competition is going to erode share. Competition is going to slow growth. And yet, that has not happened. There is no company yet that's transitioned to the effectiveness and the efficiency and the productivity that Tesla has around drivetrain, around engine, around chipsets, around batteries. Sure. So there's a moat around Tesla because it was, the first mover, but they've maintained their share through innovation. Everybody criticizes this guy for a million different reasons. But at the end of the day, when you ask somebody if you want to buy an EV, what do they want? They want a Tesla. So GM hasn't come with anybody anybody wants. Porsche hasn't done it yet. I'm not saying they won't, but it hasn't happened yet. Meanwhile, they gain share, they reduce price, they're getting more aggressive, they're bringing the truck. I don't see a bad story here, and it's reflected in the stock, although it's a volatile stock. Sure. But if he's saying there's headwinds economically globally, that's the same environment for every company, whether they're in the EV market or not. What they've got that no one else has is 100% focus on EV. They're not dealing with legacy engines of any kind. Nice. Yep. And so you have a much more efficient use and a much more productive company.
Do you think the Cybertruck is an additive or if I put it simple terms, a boom or a bust for Tesla long term?
It's going to be a boom because that crazy looking vehicle has already shown its popularity on pre-orders 2 years ago.
Why?
I want one. I think they're nuts. And I think it would be a lot of fun to drive a tank because that's what it is. But now a tank where you don't have to feel guilty about it. It's an EV. But it's got a lot of room. It's a very interesting vehicle. It's got a really ugly look. Ugly is interesting. And, to be honest with you, I've got investments in providers that are providing technology for that truck. And we know the demand is huge. It's huge. Now, this issue around four-wheel versus two-wheel, if he comes with a two-wheel first, there'll still be demand for it. Because the truth is most people don't drive these trucks off-road. But if you wanted to drive that thing off-road, you could. I like it, and I think, I'm on the list to get one. The one thing I really like about the story that I learned yesterday on the whole Elon thing, the margins on this truck could be really high. I mean, this is going to be because they've had so much efficiency in manufacturing costs since they announced the truck. They're probably picking up, a 10-12% more margin on that thing.
It's so pretty interesting what he had to say there. He seems to get it better than most. And yeah, he points out how for the longest time they've been saying the competition is coming for Tesla, but it just hasn't happened. And now they're making efforts to get into the electric vehicle space, but we now see that they're struggling. They're losing money. It's hard to get to full-scale production, and Kevin seems to get that and points out Tesla's doing great. He didn't really say it, but I would say they're continuing to innovate, and because of that, they're expanding their lead. They're already ahead, and their pace of innovation is just accelerating their lead. Kevin didn't say that, but I think by listening to what he said, you can get that sense that they're in a very good position, especially with the rough economic times that appear to be ahead of us in the short term, like 6 to 12 months, like Elon said. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. Kevin also made some comments on working at home trend that we saw after COVID, and because Elon made comments about that at the shareholder meeting, or just after the shareholder meeting, he did an interview, and Elon said that he thinks that people should come into the office. And then Kevin O'Leary responded to that by saying, in some segments of businesses, yeah, it makes sense. And he said Elon deals with engineering, and for engineering, it probably makes sense that people who work mostly on a computer they still need to come into the office to collaborate with the other engineers on projects. But other businesses, that may not be the case, and that makes sense to me. Yeah, there'll be portions of businesses that working from home, that is fine. They save money on office space, and it works well for them. And that's what Kevin O'Leary was saying, that he has businesses where it's saving him money, so his margins are higher, and he wants to expand that. But for engineering, yeah, I don't think it works so well to have everybody in separate locations who are trying to engineer a new car or a new motor or something like that. They're all working on this project. It's better if they're in one spot collaborating, and maybe close to the production line, and they can go look at something physically. It just makes more sense that they go into work. So that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. My name's Evan Bertrand. This is the Evergreen channel. Give the video a like if you liked it. Subscribe by clicking on the wheel in the bottom right. And thanks for watching.